Hello and welcome back to Ask Christina Anything, the show where we ask Christina anything. Christina LeBel, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm fantastic. It's so great to be here with you, Warren.
Are you ready for some more questions that our viewers have sent in about relationship advice, dating advice, and even sex advice?
Absolutely. Let's start getting deeper into those topics.
All right, Christina, our first question asks, lately, I've been having trouble performing in bed, and it's starting to mess with my confidence. I don't know if it's stress, pressure, or something else, but it's becoming a cycle. How do I deal with this without letting it ruin my sex life or my relationship?
So I think one of the first things you should do is kind of let your partner know that maybe you're just under a little extra stress right now. So you're kind of running on reserve. So maybe those full experiences aren't going to be there. And that will buy you a little bit of time to kind of explain to yourself and kind of do that deep dive of what could that root cause be. One of the first things that comes to my mind is like, how much pornography is this person maybe watching or indulging in? I know that for a lot of relationships, that can really change and derail good intimacy because it skews our views of what relationships, what sex, what intimacy is.
So your point about pornography, it's like, are you choosing to, be intimate with your partner, or are you choosing to be intimate with your phone?
Life is always going to throw us those additional stresses, but if nothing extreme has happened on the outside, then it also goes to, well, is my attraction still there for my partner? Do I still love my partner the way that motivated me at one point to indulge in that kind of intimacy and exploration? So maybe this is a sign of much more trouble that I haven't realized or addressed or even really understand that it could be something much deeper.
I knew someone who once told me that they were dating this person and they were intimate with this person, but they couldn't stand to be intimate with them if they were not intoxicated. I feel like that's very problematic, but they didn't see it as that, which shocked me.
Well, it's hard for us to be able to identify our own behaviors and our own patterns. It's always easier to observe other people's problems and think we know a solution or think we know the cause. So that's just kind of the nature of humans. But in reality, if they can kind of interflect and ask those questions to themselves and see where they get, that's going to be the most beneficial. But that's difficult for us as the human species to do.
All right. Thank you. Very well put. We'll have more with Ask Christina Anything right after this break. Stay with us. All right, Christina, our next question asks, my partner recently told me that he's bisexual. I care a lot about him, but I'm not sure what that means for our relationship going forward. Can this still work, or are we too different?
I think the biggest question I would have in that situation would be, does this mean that my partner wants to open our relationship so they can explore upon that facet of them? Or is this them educating me about their previous dating experiences and partners and just kind of broaching that subject for me to have more understanding of who they are? Obviously, in this day and age, it's becoming much easier for people to be who they are. So it's really one of those, it needs a conversation of like, hey, I'm just curious about this. I understand some of the context, but I want to understand what it means going forward for us.
The thing that I come back to is this something that they are just now finding out about themselves? Or is this something that they've always known and maybe they've had same-sex partners in the past? Being as open as possible and kind of asking them, how do you want this to go forward? You should have a say in this as well, but just understanding context, I think, is key.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you said it best of, is this something that is new for you, or is this part of something that you've known for a while? Because I think that broaches kind of a new conversation arc, and I think that's a really great call out.
All right, we'll have more with Ask Christina Anything right after this break. Stay with us. All right, Christina, our next question asks, I've been seeing someone for a little while, and things are great when we're in bed, but outside of that, I feel like they're distant or just not into me. How do I know if they're really into me or just using me for sex?
Well, I think that question is really easy to answer for people, but we don't want to acknowledge that we're being used. At the end of the day, if you're really questioning this, it's probably a pretty obvious answer, but it's just hard for us to get there and accept and then do that right thing of detaching from somebody that we've invested in and that we care about and that we maybe perceived seeing a relationship with. Also, I think it's really important to see like how are they fueling you in really basic ways? What are they doing every day to tell you that they care about you? If they're not sending you a little bouquet of flowers every now and then, or reminding you or asking you on a date, you know, just reminding them of what they care for you. I think that's also another great pattern of like, well, if they only really seem to engage me at those intimate moments, what are they providing you? Nothing other than intimacy. So that really is kind of a easy conclusion that that's probably a yes, unfortunately.
You made a really good point at the beginning where it's like it can be very clear to people, but they still kind of refuse to admit it. And I know so many people who that's the situation, and to everyone on the outside, it's plain as day. But they always say, oh, well, in these certain moments, they're like this, and I have a real connection to them. Yeah, but in those certain moments, you know, this isn't a constant thing that you're experiencing with them. It's a one-off instance.
Right. If they're not introducing you to their family and their friends, and they're not engaging in a way that is impactful or shows you that they're thinking about you when you're not around, who wants to continue to invest in a one-way relationship? So it's really good to kind of be able to identify that quickly and save yourself the more hurt feelings the longer you develop them.
All right, we'll have more with Ask Christina Anything right after this break. Stay with us. All right, Christina, our next question asks, I went on a date and he showed up with his mom, like actually brought his mom to dinner. She was really cool and kind, but what am I supposed to think about that? Is this a red flag or just really close family vibes?
I think that there could be a couple of ways to interpret this. You know, I would think of like, how was I invited out on the date? Was I in a group setting? Were there multiple people around? Did he ask me alone and then mom showed up? Because sometimes there might be a little bit of context to it. Maybe he has a standing dinner date with his mom on a set schedule and he didn't want to let her down, and so he brought her. But, I mean, I don't know if it's a glaring red flag, but it is a red flag in the sense of, is that an indicator of what's to come? I mean, if you guys get married, who is his partner? Is it his mom because she's never really cut the cord, or is it going to be you? So I really evaluate if you have a second date, like, you know, what is talked about, what his past relationships have been like, what was the reason for the last couple breakups, and if mom's mentioned anywhere in it, you can see your future.
Immediately, the thing that comes to mind for me is, what is the dynamic here? Is this just his mother's out to dinner with you guys and this is just something that they do? Or is this something even deeper?
So for me, one of the things I think about is like, could that have been a date? You know, could there have just been a miscommunication and she thought it was going to be kind of more of a romantic encounter, but it wasn't? Maybe signals were misread, just miscommunicated. It's kind of hard to tell unless she gathered any kind of intel from that first date.
All right, we'll have more with Ask Christina Anything right after this break. Stay with us. All right, Christina, we're gonna do some rapid fire questions now of what are red flags or not red flags. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, number one, they've never been in a serious relationship before and they're 35.
Red flag.
They call their mom every single day.
Green flag.
They want to move in together after 2 weeks.
Red flag.
They still share a Netflix account with their ex.
Beige.
They refuse to post you on their social media.
Red flag.
They say, I don't believe in therapy.
Red flag.
They sleep with a stuffed animal every night.
Beige.
They got a tattoo of your name after 1 month of dating.
Red flag.
And they say all their exes were crazy.
The biggest red flag.
Ooh. All right, Christina, thank you so much for coming on the program. It is always a joy to have you. Guys, if you want to watch more episodes of Ask Christina Anything, you can check it out by going to Luigi Scarcelli Official on YouTube or search Ask Christina Anything at pmcwatch.com. You can also catch us every Friday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 5. Christina, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, Warren. Thank you so much.